So the next company, it's Cartier Resources, and Philippe Cloutier, the founder and CEO, is coming. Very good. Philippe, welcome on our stage. Hi. So we just start.
Okay, well, thank you. 12-minute countdown. So we'll skip this and that one. I'm equally an optimist. We have a tight share structure with Agnico Eagle that owns 17 or 15.7%, O3 Mining 15%, the Quebec sovereign funds just under 5%, myself essentially 5.3 million shares. Two groups of long-term shareholders in Quebec City and Montreal that own respectively 10% each, and free float about 40%. We have $8 million in the bank, and because of where we're currently trading, we have a $30 million market cap. We have a very smallish team, the same team that has been operating Chimo for the past 5 years, and we're committed to ESG. Obviously, we're in the midst of obtaining our Eco-Logo certification, 2 mineral exploration agreements with the Cree First Nations of Waswanipi. And jumping right into the geological aspects, we have 4 projects with the gold deposits on them. 3 of them are situated in what I would like to call the emerging Windfall mining district that are up there to the north near Kivion. And our flagship project, where we concentrate all of our efforts in the last 5 years, is the Chimo Mine project. And we have recently consolidated with O3 Mining ground, and we now control over 40 kilometers of the Larder Lake Cadillac Fault. You could see our former project in dark green. That was the Chimo Mine project, a very smallish type project, but with most of the ounces. And the surrounding yellow ground that was O3 Mining's ground. And so now you can see the large land position, which is essentially the size of Val-d'Or to Malartic. So there's no reason for there not to be as many mines and prospective features on that part of the ground. If I dive closer into the project, obviously when we consolidated with O3, they had a 43-101 resource estimate. We had a 43-101 resource estimate. Since it had been consolidated one project, the Securities Exchange, IROC mostly, and 43-101 regulations forced us to consolidate that. So we now have one consolidated resource estimate where we have 720,000 ounces of indicated gold and 1.6 million ounces of inferred category. In the past, we had conducted public and internal engineering studies, shaft haulage capacity, stope design and sequencing, material handling sequencing, and ore sorting, which I'll get to in the next slide. And obviously, the benefit here, again, is that by consolidating, we now control 100% of that ground, and you could see further off to the east several other gold deposits. So one word on the consolidated resource estimate, that's 25 million tons of average grade of 3. Ore sorting works on Chimo, so by running it through XRF and optical scanners, you're able to separate 50% of the material, which 50% is going to be waste, 50% is going to be mineralization, and you upgrade that mineralization by 170%. So when it hits surface, it will be about 5 grams per ton material. Focusing even more, and you're seeing the resources, I've left the former property boundary on that slide simply to show the effects of property boundaries, and you could see where there was a gap in drilling. By eliminating those boundaries, we're able to drill the gold system continuously over that 3.7 kilometer stretch. And you could see further to the east, there's the Nordo East deposit, which we have yet to go drilling. In the last 3 years, we drilled 60,000 meters of diamond drilling, 124 holes, and we had the benefit, obviously, because this is a past-producing mine. We know the metallurgy and the rock mechanics, so it did help us orient the work a lot. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to look at a vertical slice through that section where all the gold showings are, and we're going to be looking towards the northeast. So there it is. That's what we call the Chimo Mine gold system. It's been relatively heavily drilled over a 60 to 70 year period, over 3.7 kilometers, and locally down to 1.6 kilometer depth. What is shown there in red is the indicated resource, and in blue is the inferred resource. Keep in mind, you could also see the shaft and the underground drifts. That past producing mine actually produced about 400,000 ounces of gold. So if you add the 2.3, you're looking at a 2.7 to 3 million ounce gold system. And the drilling that we're currently conducting obviously aims at growing that past the 3 million ounce mark. You could equally see on that slide the two results we put out this week, a 9-grammer on the East Chimo Mine sector area, which I'd like to point out is on Zone 3, which is a zone that's parallel and behind this section. And so therefore, it's a new zone that will continue generating more ounces per vertical meter, and obviously another 9.6 grammer in the Nord-West area. And the two orange dots are currently where the drill holes are being drilling. And after an initial wait period at the labs, now things are starting to tumble in a lot closer. So we're going to have more drill results in the following weeks and early 2023. You could also see where the ongoing PEA has actually designed or is currently designing a ramp to access the West Nord-O deposit and link it up with the Chimo Mine. And obviously there is considerations to dewater part of the shaft and use vertical conveyors there. And so there's more news to come, obviously. We've shown from our Agnico's participation in 2016 and then 17 onwards when we started to drill that every year we've grown this project from 1 million ounces to 2.3, and now we're targeting 3. So it works. Our exploration strategy works on Chimo, and we aim at continuing that in the very near future. And so therefore, the milestones and what we're currently working on to continue advancing this project is a drill program that's ongoing with 2 machines, and it should run until at least mid of next year. It's fully financed. Upgrading the resource estimates once those resources comes in, pursuing the engineering studies and filing the PEA early 2023. So I think there's a lot of high-level news flow coming from the company in the next months. And then from that point on, obviously, we're going to have to make other strategic decisions because from 2016 to today, it's been relatively normal-paced and affordable exploration. Taking the project from preliminary economic assessment to feasibility will be a whole different game, and we're going to have to be very imaginative. So with that, thank you very much, and I'll leave you on this picture, which was actually taken from a sample that was taken underground at the Chimo Mine, level 17. The visiting geologist in our office let us talk and talk and talk for hours, and we were talking about bulk mining underground and pushing the grade as low as possible to get a lot of the ounces. And then he pulls this out of his pack sack and he says, that's what we can see underground at Chimo. And we told him, we said, look, we knew this, but we don't tend to use that and promote the project because that type of ore underground at Chimo accounts for about 25% of the mineralization. So in our business, you could either go for very high-grade stuff and limited ounces, or you could use the 25 years of mining and metallurgical innovations that have been discovered since the closure of this mine, apply it to the system, and then go and mine out a lot more ounces, which we believe we'll do. So there you have it. Thank you very much.
Philippe. Do we have questions in the audience? If not now, I would start. And Philippe, how deep was this? 17 level?
That was about 800 meters.
800 meters.
The shaft goes down to 920 right now.
Yeah. And we will see now results coming over the next weeks and months from the current program.
Yeah.
When will you finish this current program? Just started in October.
We started in late August, and it's going to run till July. And the previous speaker did mention that, the labs are full. And they were full really because of the summer programs, when most companies come out of the bush, they flood the labs with samples. But a lot of juniors have actually stopped working these days because the markets are so shitty. And so there's not a flow of samples going into the lab. So we're seeing the labs free up. We're seeing the diamond drill contractors free up. And that's good for companies such as ours that have decided to continue working because we have the cash to service the programs.
So when will we see the PEA?
PEA is targeted, from what the engineers tell me, between mid-January, mid-February of 2023.
So let's say end of February, we will have it.
Yeah, I hope so. And from that, those are the next marching orders for a company such as Cartier, because from that point on, it's a path to production process, either from us, from a partner, from what the markets will be in 2023 is an entirely different story, and it will impact on how this project moves forward. But it has moved forward at a very good pace since we've decided to start working on it. And I do really believe it will be the next producing mine in our part of the world.
Okay, so if we don't have more questions, thank you very much, Philippe. Philippe is here the full day for one-to-ones.
Yeah, room number 7.
Yeah, room number 7, and we will do a break. Now it's lunchtime. Thank you.
Thank you.